Welcome to this WiseOwl tutorial on calling child flows in Power Automate, and it will also show how to create solutions and pass inputs to flows. So here's what you'll learn during the tutorial. So we're going to start by explaining the example error trapping routine we're going to write and what it will teach you about Power Automate. Then we'll create a solution, which you'll need in order to call a child flow. We'll create a child flow and I'll show how to pass inputs to it and what that means. Then we'll give the child flow a response, so it passes something back to the parent flow. What we'll then do is create the outline of the parent flow, the flow which will contain an error. And then we'll call the error trapping routine the child flow. What I'll then do is show how to solve the permissions issue which will come up when you try to save the parent flow, I predict. And finally, we'll test out our final system to see if it does what we expect it to. But that's enough of looking at me. I'm going to vanish now. And let's get started. So before we create our child flow and get it to work, I thought I'd show you why you need it, or one reason why you might need one. I've got a fairly typical flow here with an error handling structure. So what will happen is if anything goes wrong in the try block, I'll jump to the catch block and an error handler will presumably do something. In this case, what I'm going to do is to send an email to somebody. Now, one way to do that would be every time I create an error handling block like this, add an additional action. But there's a couple of disadvantages to that. One is it's wasting time because I've got to configure what this action does every single time. And the second is more important but less obvious, which is if I then come to change how my errors are handled, what I'll need to do is go to every single flow and change perhaps the email address used, or indeed change the whole way that I'm reporting errors. A better solution, and the one we're going to show in this tutorial, is to have a child flow. So what will happen when something goes wrong is it will call a completely separate flow, and that will send an email as it happens to me saying that a problem has occurred. And if we try running that now, just to show how it's going to work and what the final answer would look like, then what it will do is, I'm sorry about the ping, it will go to the catch clause when it crashes in the try clause, and it will run my child flow. And the output of that is going to be an email looking something like this. So it will give two things. It will give the name of the flow which caused the problem, and it will give the error message I passed in. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to learn about three things as part of this. The first obvious one is you're going to learn about running a child flow. What you'll also do is learn about creating a solution. And the reason you need to learn about that is because child flows have to go in the same solution as the parent flows which call them. And thirdly, you'll learn about why some triggers, or all triggers in fact, have got inputs that you can specify and how you use those. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a solution. So to do that, I can go to the Solutions button on the main Power Automate screen, and it will show a list of all the solutions I've created. Actually, the only solution I think I created in this was that one. All the others are generated internally by the system. What they do, I couldn't tell you. So what we need to do is create a new solution, which will hold both the child flow and the parent flows calling it. I'll call my new solution child flow tutorial, which seems a good name. And I need to select a publisher. So there's two options. I'm going to choose the default publisher, which seems to work. And then I can click on create. I don't think more options contains anything particularly relevant for the moment. So it's going to create the solution, and then within it, it will list out all the flows that it contains, and there aren't any. It will also list out all the chatbots and cards and apps. So I'm really just skimming the surface of solutions here. So the first thing we're going to do is create our generic error handling routine. This will be the child flow called from all over the place. And what it will do is send an email to me, giving me the name of the flow which caused the problem and what the problem was. So I need to create a flow, and to do that, I click on New. And because a solution can allow me to create lots of different things, like Power Apps, for example, I need to choose Automation to say I'm working within Power Automate, and then I can create a cloud flow. And I actually wanted to create an instant one. And the reason I want to do that, I'll just click on Skip there to go through the next stage, and then choose Manually Trigger a Flow, is because if you have a child flow, it can't be triggered by anything. Now, just before I continue, I'm going to specify some inputs to this flow. think this is the first time we've done this in this tutorial series. This plus button is really annoying. It looks like it's not clickable, and yet when you click on the link, it is. So what I'm going to do is add two inputs, both of them of type text. The first input will be the name of the workflow. So I'll call this workflow name. There's not much point putting a prompt because I don't actually think you'll ever see that because this will be passed in automatically. And the second input I'll specify is another text one, and this will contain the error message. And again, I won't bother with a prompt. So this flow will only work if you pass to it the name of the workflow and the error message. What I can now do is I can send an email to myself. So I'll choose send email. And what the email will do is tell me what the problem is. I'll choose send an email. I'll send it to my good self, delegate 51. I'm going to start calling myself that soon if I'm not careful. The subject will be problem. Let's put an exclamation mark. Problem with flow, and then I can put in the name of the flow, and the name of the flow will be passed into an input. When I scroll down, it looks like it's not there, but if you use the outer scroll bar, you will eventually get to it. So choose the workflow name, which has been passed in, and the error message will be, and then I can just choose the error message, and that will be my email. So the final thing this flow needs to do before I can continue is it needs to send back a response. When you call a child flow, it needs to respond to the parent saying it's completed. So I need to add one new step. This can be quite difficult to find. If you type in response, you won't get anywhere. You need to type in the word respond and then search for that. So these are all the responding actions I can choose. And if I scroll down, you can see there's one called respond to a Power App or flow. But it's in the Power Apps category. I'm not sure it actually belongs there, so it can be quite hard to find. What I need to do is send back an output, and I'll call this response. And I'll set the value to be done. I'm not really particularly interested in this, in picking it up in the parent flow, but I do need to send something back. One final point about responses is that if you're going to hang in your child flow to do anything, make sure you send a response back first. Because until the parent flow gets this response, it won't be able to continue with its actions. So if you've got something above this, which is waiting for something to happen, your parent flow is never going to resume execution. What I now need to do is to save it. I'm going to change the name of it first. So my name could be handle errors in parent flows. And then what I'll do is to save it. As we'll see in a bit, we haven't quite finished with this. There's something else I need to do later. But for the moment, I will click on the button to go back, and you can see I've got one cloud flow listed there. And interestingly, although it's part of the solution, if I now go back to my home screen and look at my list of flows, you'll also see the flow appearing there too. So it's time now to create my parent flow. So I'm going to go back to my solution, click on solutions, and then click on my child flow tutorial solution. And what I'm going to do is to add another new flow within this. So I'll add another instant flow. Skip when this appears. I'll call my flow possible problem flow, although I'm actually going to make sure it does contain a problem. And then I'll choose manually trigger a flow. I don't need any inputs for this. Normally you don't. I could collapse that. And then I'll create 3 new steps. Each of these, I'm going to go through this very quickly because I covered it in the tutorial on error handling. Each of these is going to be a scope. So they'll all look exactly the same. And this is a standard way of doing error handling. And what I can then do is rename each of these. So I'll call the first one try, which is an industry standard name for what's called a try block. The second one I'll call catch. And the third one, which will run whether or not an error occurs, I'll call finally. What I then need to do is make sure an error occurs. So what I'm going to do is add an action within this to import some data from Excel. I'll choose list rows present in the table. You could choose any action which triggers an error. I've just gone for something which I know will work. So I'm going to go to an Excel file. Any file will do, providing it contains a table. I'm going to go to a list of films I created earlier, choose the table. All of this will work perfectly. But the error I'm going to create is I'm going to go to Show Advanced Options, and I'm going to order it by a column called no such column. So that's called an OData order by clause, and it's absolutely going to crash because the underlying table doesn't contain a column with that name. That's good. I've triggered an error. What I now need to do is configure the catch clause so that it only runs if the previous one fails. So I need to configure run after and say that it will run if the previous action fails, is skipped, or times out. And finally, I need to go to the finally clause, and I need to configure the run after for this and say this will run under all possible circumstances. So it will definitely go to the finally clause. So that completes the outline from it. What I now need to do in the catch clause is call my child flow. So what I now need to do is in the catch clause, when something goes wrong, I need to call my child flow. To do that, I'm going to add an action, but just before we do that, a quick digression. In a completely blank flow, if you type in the word flows in the search box, you'll see it only comes up with Power Automate Desktop Flows, which has nothing to do with what we're doing here. There isn't a separate category called flows there. However, if I do the same thing here and type in the word flows, then what it will do is come up with flows as a category. And what I can do is choose to run a child flow. What I can then do is click on the drop arrow and choose handle errors in parent flows, which is the name of my child flow I just created over here. And then what I can do is specify two things: the workflow name and the error message. So for the workflow name, I'm going to click in the expression bar and paste in this expression. So workflow is a function which gives you information about what's happened in the flow. There's a tag section, and within that there's a flow display name property, which gives you the name of the flow which caused the problem. I'll give you that one for free. The error message to be displayed could be could not load Excel data. And just to make it slightly less anonymous so it proves it works, I'm going to add wise owl at the end of it. So one more thing I'm going to do is to show the response received from the child flow. So to do this, I'll add a compose action. And what it will do is show the response received from the child flow. And the reason it's called response is because that's what I named the output there. So that completes my flow. Just collapse that. So what we now need to do in the catch clause is call our child flow to handle the error handling, send me an email basically saying something's gone wrong. So to do that, I'm going to add an action. Just before I do that, a quick digression. In a completely separate flow, you don't have to do this. I'm just going to show you that when you type in flows in the search box, the only thing it comes up with is desktop flows, which has nothing to do with what we're doing. It's to do with running Power Automate desktop flows. However, we do the same thing here. Type in the word flows, we get an additional category called flows, which we can choose. And the reason we do that is we've created this within a solution which contains other flows. So what I can now do is choose to run a child flow. I can choose which one I'm going to run, which is the one I created called handle errors in parent flows. And because it requires two inputs, I need to specify what those should be. Starting with the name of the workflow, I'm going to paste in an expression. The workflow function gives me some information about what happens with the workflow. It has a tag section and a flow display name property within that. I'll give you all that for free. Make sure you type it in carefully and get the case correct. So that will give me the workflow name. What I'll then do is display the error message. Could not load hourly data. That should do for my error message. So the one other thing I'll do after this is I want to display the status to prove that's been correctly returned. So I'll add in another action. And what this will do is just use a very simple compose action. And what it will do is display the status. And the status is called response. And the reason it's called response is in my child flow, that's what I call the output. So that should display the word done. And that should be it. Shouldn't it? So I left you with a bit of a cliffhanger. We were about to try saving this parent flow. Let's try doing it. So if I click on the save button, what could go wrong? Plenty, as it turns out. It's giving me an error message saying the child flow I'm trying to call uses run-only user connections, although it's a bit grammatically garbled. The problem is, if I go back to my solution and click on the child flow solution, and then click on the child flow itself to edit it, at the bottom right corner, it says run only users. And if I click on the edit button next to that, you can see the permission being used to link to Outlook to send an email is entirely contained within the flow. What I need to do is give it separate permission. So I'm going to say delegate 51, that's me, gives it the right to do this. And then I'm going to save that. I'm glossing slightly over the security issues of this because I imagine most people watching will just want a solution to it. So although I haven't done anything to the parent flow, what I should now be able to do is to save it. So let's give that a go. So if I click on the save button, I think it actually just, yes, it did save it there. It was just very quick. So now I'm ready to run my parent flow, but that's a gotcha. You need to make sure that when you're calling a child flow, that the child flow has the correct permissions to do the things. Otherwise, you won't be able to save the parent flow at all. So I think I'm now good to test this. What I'm going to do is to test my flow and try running it. What it should do is generate an error. So I'm expecting the try clause to have a red mark next to it. There it is. That meant it sent it down into the catch clause, and the finally clause will run whether the error occurred or not. So if I look at the catch clause, you can see it successfully ran my child flow. It passed in the name of this parent flow and the error message I chose, and returned a status code of 200. That looks good. And the body passed back contains a response of done. So my compose action will show that output. So it's been a lot of work, but the big advantage now is that whenever I have an error handling routine which I want to create, I can just call my child flow action, and I can pass in these two bits of information, the name of the workflow and the error message. And then if at some stage in the future I change the way I want to handle my error handling, all I have to do is go back to my child flow and just change that one flow, and everything will automatically update.